С точки зрения нас, котов, умных философов.
Эта физика давно галактикнулась.
Science tells us that the universe originated as a result of the Big Bang. That is, somewhere accumulated something, and in the end it exploded with matter, from which the universe was spontaneously built.
Let's see if that's true. First of all, science postulates singularity, which can be understood as unpredictable chaoticness. And it's understandable what predictability can be when there are no laws. So, there is an accumulation of tension somewhere that eventually spilled out, and there is still a singularity. It is the quality of the general condition at the beginning of the beginning.
On whether there was space and time, as well as energy and matter, science cannot really say anything, but only guess. Well, we're going to do our own research to figure it out.
Let's accept that singularity is a contortion of paradigms, and paradigms are a certain number of grounds for education processes. In the end, the universe must turn out. Singularity is not actually imagined. But we'll try. Perhaps another definition. It is chaos that seeks order. It remains to be seen why the singularity has a desire to look for order. What's pushing her to do that? After all, in reality phenomena and processes are driven by some forces. Because things in yourself don't exist. It cannot be that something has appeared and exists according to its own laws. And these laws are dictated by the internal quality of things, no matter what. If so, everything in the universe would have no need to interact. Thus, we have found the first guideline in this matter. There can be no such thing as something to arise through itself. That is, for example, the bubble inflated, but no one inflated it, he did it himself. Does that sound weird? Of course it's weird. Because the thing in itself is unreal. And nature as such is not a thing in itself. And any process that took place initially was something provoked. The universe, with its already approved laws, is an orchestra where all instruments together create a beautiful and powerful, harmonious sound. And it turns out that each tool individually is useless. For reality requires a symphony, not a rattling of the strings of a separate instrument. This image is for better understanding. Just an image.
We do not understand where the tension came from, what increased and became an explosion, and why the singularity is looking for order. Because if the singularity does not seek order, the explosion will not give anything, it will only create more chaos.
What exactly is it about? That the particles that started to arise are trying to interact with each other. This means that singularity is looking for order. After all, from interaction there will be then physical laws on which the universe will be built. In the meantime, in the first seconds of the explosion, the particles appear and begin to interact. They are provoked by singularity, which at a frantic pace is looking for order. And the particles themselves are not very adapted to interaction.
Where does this ability come from? Is a child who has just been born capable of anything? He needs to grow and learn a lot before he acts on his own. Isn't that the same with those first particles in the first seconds of the explosion?
If we do not wish to deceive ourselves in the study, we will have to agree, behaves quite the same way. These particles are helpless. They are carried by a wave of explosion, and logically, they are carried apart. But we have a singularity that is looking for order at a frantic pace.
What prompts the singularity to seek order, especially so intensely, is the complex issue. Perhaps this question is insoluble. But we have to agree, this initial singularity has an incentive to create, because it is looking for order. It is the stimulus of creation that forces particles to communicate with each other, even on the wave of explosion. That is, very intensive to interact. And so gradually, maybe at once, physical laws arise. These laws literally settle in particles like people in apartments.
And then the processes in the universe become more harmonious. And the universe as such is still almost empty area. Construction through this explosion has just begun. It will be a long time before the universe adopts the view we see through telescopes.
Is our analysis complete? No. Because there remains uncertainty about singularity, then this power, or this state, is wrong to call this singularity, because this force reveals a desire for order, which is much stronger than chaos. So you can't call this power singularity. But science speaks of singularity. As you know, mathematical singularity is the point at which the mathematical function tends to infinity or has any other irregularities of behavior. Not regular behavior. This is chaos.
However, the singularity we reviewed in the analysis is something else. Let's take two particles, for clarity, that arose from the primary voltage in the perfect void. They're like two babies. They lie side by side, and even touch each other's hands, doing it unconsciously and accidentally. But the law of interaction will not appear. We represent babies here as the first void-born particles. But the baby implies many stages of evolution. Compare it with such a particle can only be very conventional. Because such a particle does not have even a small sign of interaction. It's like a metal ball on a table on any flat surface, and the balls collide, but it won't do any good. They won't magnetize, they won't rub against each other, and so on. Face to break up to the side. And what's the singularity going to do here? She became a master, a magician in our analysis? She's been in order. And immediately to achieve the result will not be able. She will try hard, try very hard. And someday something will work out. Balls will start to react to each other, but weakly. And here we missed one point a little. The table should be blown up. Yes, it's about the Big Bang.
So what exactly does science understand as singularity? And what factor gave rise to or provoked tension in the void, which led to the explosion? What triggered the stress accumulation process, and what influenced the singularity by making it a caring babysitter for particles is the purpose of our study.
Then we need to investigate this, not the explosion. Moreover, the explosion clearly prevents the emerging particles from starting to interact, and even more so prevents the emergence of physical laws, and such laws are a huge system.
What did we find out? 1. Explosion cannot be a creative factor. 2. The first particles cannot learn to interact on their own. 3. Its singularity contributed to their interaction. Then this force should be called otherwise. It's not singularity then. And what to do with paradigms? Where to look for them? Do these unknown paradigms contain the secret of origin? It's a tough question. But so far we have found out that the Big Bang is most likely a misconception, at least logically so. And the singularity, it turns out, not by singularity, but by something else.